And as the battle continues, we now step into this next phase of this world event that we're in. It all started out in 2020, progressing into what you see now with the store shelves thinning out. So it was pandemic. They wanted to scream this whole time. Now, things are shifting to an energy crisis and to the store shelves running bare. Some places are not talking about this, others are. Some places not seeing much of an effect, others are. You know, I share images out there that people send in my way, and then I get comments from others like, oh, my place is fully stocked. Well, that's good. I hope that you stock up, but you better keep in mind that a lot of other people around you in other places, their shelves are running bare. To just be all blasé and say, oh, mine are good, we're all good, and to not care about anything is a bad choice in my opinion. I feel like things are going to start to pick up all across the board. Matter of fact, Moody's just came out and warned this, said things are going to get worse before they get better. We have all these meat producers saying that the prices are going up. Exactly what's running low? Well, you'll notice Ben & Jerry's flavors, carbonated drinks, chicken, coffee, diapers, fish sticks, frozen meals, Heinz ketchup packets, pot pies, McCormick gourmet spices, Rice Krispie treats, Sour Patch Kids, toilet paper, and the list goes on. These are just the beginning stages of items that are hard to find, and I can almost guarantee you, going into this winter, it's going to get rough. I hope people got a plan. I'm going to break this down further on the next live stream. What we can do to combat all this. Join us Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern on D-Live.
Learn about crypto and get paid as you learn with Coinbase Earn.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom, first and foremost, with all praises and glory and honor to do to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash, double honors unto the elders and the apostles of great millstone, and blessings and salutations to the fruitful elect, and wasn't a gospel brother, but the standard of Yahweh, Hashem, Shai, Hey, this is just a quick lesson through the Spirit, Lord's will to be edifying.
Well, you'll notice
by this guy, Double 7, going into the accounts of grocery stores and bare shelves, and this is kind of what I was going into Oni in transit earlier about how the food supply and the global food chains is being disrupted will be used as a tact to kind of control the people and to get them to pull the narrative that Esau is pushing. All right, you have to understand that once people don't have food or water or particular goods to solidify their safety, then that's when people start to go crazy.
These are just the
in order for them to sustain their probable
that
goods.
Are hard to find.
All right. So with that being said, man, this is all biblical prophecy. It's like this is all Bible prophecy. This is what was prophesied to happen in the scriptures. And Salakia, man, I accidentally pressed the play button, but this is what's prophesied to happen in the scriptures, man. All right. So matter of fact, it's another video that I'm gonna play by Dabu, but the brother recommended this. He said, look up 9 Meals from Anarchy. Okay, and I'm assuming this is a song. It says song by Toxic Bears. And these are the lyrics, and it goes, climate change, global warming, economies collapse without warning. The bees are gone. Here come the asteroids, alien plague, so now you're unemployed. And you can forget about tonight's fish and chips. It's officially the apocalypse. Okay, and that's real talk. You can't even get around that because these are things that were supposed to happen, that the Holy Bible prophesied to happen, man. Because we on the verge of economic collapse. But what is Jake doing? They're not paying attention. You know, their mind is all generated and infatuated by mirth. When the scriptures say that, hey, it's better to go into the house of mourning than the house of feasting and of mirth. Okay, he said economies are collapsing, we are collapsing. Because you see the supply and the disruption of the supply markets and the global food chains is being eradicated as we speak. You know, you go to certain stores, etc. You have no food on the shelf. They're out of certain products, certain goods. You know, certain places have more product than next. Other places are dealing with what they call rotational stock, when they have to bring in old products or use the products they got in back shelf in order to fill the gaps. But overall, these trucks are going to stop coming, man. And it says here, asteroids, alien plagues, which is the chariots, okay, because according to Dave Chappelle, he called them sky Jews, which we know he was referring to. It says, so now you're employed, right, because unemployment is at an all-time high still. They're advertising to hire, but at the same time, though, nobody's going out to get a job because they're not hiring the way that they assume they are. You know, people out here still unemployed. People lived off the unemployment for over a year. Now they don't have the money to get by because they spent up all the money. And they can't continue to print money because the more money they print, you know, it's going to cause more inflation and more inflation. And that was the whole purpose, so they can do away with the dollar. It says, I'm a doomsday prepper. This time I belong. Doomsday prepper, far right and never wrong. Doomsday prepper, far right and never as an oath keeper. All right, so you have to understand that with him and what Dabu is talking about saving for a rainy day. But the regardless of it is, you can't prep for what's coming. Yeah, you can buy food, you can hoard food, you can store up goods, you can do, you know, you can try to prep and do whatever you may need to do, which may only get you but so far. Because if you watch the movie called The Road showed you just that. It was a house, and this guy and his son, they stumbled upon the bunker. They stumbled upon the bunker and they had fucking months supply of food in there. But guess what? The owner of that bunker, he wasn't there to enjoy those spoils, so to speak, because allegedly they were dead. So it doesn't help if people so-called doomsday prep. And we're not telling brothers to not get extra. We're not telling brothers to put up stuff for a rainy day. But overall, if you think that guns and hoarding canned goods is going to allow you to survive Jacob's trouble, then you lack faith, because ultimately it's faith was going to see us through the end of this thing, man. Okay? So he says here, I'm armed to the hilt, forewarned, fuck with me and you never be mourned. A secluded bunker high in the hills, booby traps in a private windmill, blink of an eye, the womb and tombstone, looting riots, my tenure is overthrown. It says you're all 9 mils from anarchy, 9 mils from anarchy, 9 mils from anarchy. We're all 9 mils from anarchy. Okay? Like they say, mostly everybody or mostly every American is literally a paycheck from being homeless. And you know what? That's absolutely right, because miss a paycheck in this society and watch how far it gets you. You know what I'm saying? See how far you get. Miss a paycheck. You know, get laid off without any type of residual income to sustain you outside of the spirit. You're going to be homeless, man, in a matter of weeks. You see? So yeah, man, this is all through the spirit. But let me get a precept real quick before I go into this other video. So this is the book of Matthew 24, and I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, and ye shall have heard of wars and rumors of wars. It says here, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All of these are the beginning of sorrows, okay? So these are the beginning of sorrows, which there's going to be more to come. Okay, you're going to see more sorrows, more issues, more etc. It's going to come and it's going to disrupt this planet, man. You see, people are going to start losing more jobs. People are going to start to panic buy, because as the weeks goes on into the winter time, people are going to start literally losing their damn minds because they can't seem to figure out the next meal from Sunday. So as these shelves become empty and empty by the day, by the weeks, by the coming months, you're going to start seeing people's spirit. Their spirit is going to be more of that in despair, or more of that in anguish, agony. Okay, people are going to be more aggressive with each other. People are going to be more short with each other. People are going to be more violent towards one another. Okay, expect to see a fluctuation of home invasions this winter, if everything that they're saying is going to happen the way it is. And eventually it will anyway, you know, because the spirit and power Yahweh Shemi Havashai predicted that to happen. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, expect to see people's attitudes towards one another turn for the worse. Family members too. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna play this other video real quick, and I'm gonna get the rest of the precepts, and we're gonna end it there.
You have a vision and a passion for your idea.
This is Dabu 7. If you're not aware, things are going up in cost, and power of the dollar is eroding. Now, inflation is the key word here, and it continues to persist and to cause problems. And it doesn't look like it's going to go away. It looks like it's the key mechanism from here to drive us further into a pit. of suppression, as we're seeing. And the writing is on the wall. I hope people see it. The price is rising. They're not going to go back down, especially to where they were before this whole thing went into motion, like pre-2020. We now have big-time food producers warning that they're raising the prices on the food across the board, and that those prices are here to stay. At the exact same time, we have other companies saying that you can expect to see the cost of their goods go up as well. For instance, if cotton goes up, as they're saying here that it is, this means that things like Levi's, that makes jeans and other clothing, is going to go up through the roof. And this is going to continue. Now, if you look back at like 1960, gas was like super cheap. They say here, they say it was 31 cents a gallon. Milk was $1 a gallon. Currently, they're at $3.28 and $3.68 a gallon, respectively. That's upwards of a 958% increase for gas and a 268% increase for milk over the last 60 years. And that's just talking about that timeline. What happens from here isn't going to be good. So I'm going to break this down further on the live show. Make sure to join me. We're going to look at certain sectors, certain items, and things like that. Break this down further. Going live 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, only on D Live. Make sure to join us. Hope to see you there. Links below.
You see what I'm saying? Easy. Price of goods are going up. It says, are you prepared for the mass repricing of goods and services? So right there it tells that everything is getting ready to go up. Okay? You know how they say you get your bang for your buck? Now you're going to, basically your money is not going to be really worth anything. You're going to be busy trying to sustain yourself and pay your rent and pay your lights and gas. You're not going to have time for leisure or to get the things that you desire. Okay? Like they even said from the 60s, gas was what, 30-something cent. It's like almost a 952% increase on gas within the last 60 years, man. Like, you know, we was bringing out the whole concept of milk being $1 a gallon. You know what I'm saying? Now milk is damn near on average in the Midwest, damn near $4.50. And that's for cow's milk, man. So how much more when the dollar really goes to shit? And we can read about this account similar to this in the book of 2 Kings, the 6th chapter. And 24, it says here, and it came to pass after this that Benhadad, king of Syria, gathered all his hosts and went up and besieged Samaria. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it. Okay, if you besiege, you know going to besiege means to take or to capture or to surround it. Okay, and this was going to happen in America. Esau is going to set up troops to siege these particular cities, from your highways to your neighborhoods to your checkpoints. It's going to be to the point that you're not going to be able to go from one side of town to the next, because they're going to have everything quarantined off. Like we went into a Saturday at Camp House, Kansas City. You have a major highway which is called 435. It's a big highway that circumvents the whole area of Kansas City. Okay, that means if you go in 435, it's a complete circle. So if they wanted to quarantine everybody inside the city, they can just do it on 435 because it surrounds all the major interstates in this city. Okay, and you can't get in or out unless you have the proper paperwork, which the proper paperwork would be none other than the, you know what, the MOTB, which we affectionately know as the you know what. And it says here, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and a fourth part of calves those done for 5 pieces of silver. Okay, and that was a lot of money. 5 pieces of silver, 5 shekels of silver. This day, I'm not sure about the equivalent of weight. I have to do the calculations on it. But 5 shekels of silver in this day and age would be quite some money, you know. So just imagine how much it was worth back then. Fucking dove shit, bird shit, 5 pieces of silver, man, because there was no food, no shelter, no water. So what happens when these global supply chains are disrupted by the failing economies, man, and a lack of GDP? You have what you have now, especially when it's actually systematically done. It was done by design. You know, you have product, we have food, but it's just not moving for real. You know, so I'm interested to see what's gonna happen by the time Black Friday comes about, because hey, if they're talking about shit hitting the fan before then hey, that's a wait and see approach. And a lot of you people gonna get caught off guard, man, because you're not paying attention to the prophecies. All right, and it says here, And they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of calves' doves' dung for 5 pieces of silver. And there you go, went back to cannibalism. And that's coming back in a big way too. Cannibals. People are gonna start eating each other. You're eating your children, you're eating your purses, your clothes, your raiment, your tires. That's all biblical prophecy. And it says, and as the king of Israel was passing upon the wall, there cried the woman unto him, saying, help my lord, O king. And he said, if the Lord do not help thee, when shall I help thee? And out of the barn floor, out of the winepress. And the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we may eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son, that we may eat him. And she had hid her son. And to show you how hungry they were, because I mean, you boil a whole fucking human being, and yet you've ate him in one day. You know, now they don't give the time frame, but she said the next day. So who knows, man? They could have been feasting on this guy for a couple of days, or, you know, it could have just been a perception of, hey, you know, let's hold up that bargain. But nonetheless, man, that shows you how hungry these people were, because for the fact that they ate one kid and then the next day they were looking forward to eating the next, but she hid it. And that's coming back in a big day too. People's going to look to seek to eat their kids, because the scriptures say that they should eat the fruit of thy body for the one of all things, and in the siege and in the famine. So from here on out, brothers, it gets a lot worse, you know. So, hey, the water to Yahweh, we have this truth, because without this truth, we'll be in the worst case like these people, you know, because these people, they don't know what the hell is coming. They're hoping that we're going to get out of this, but overall, we're not, you know. They're not looking at alternative news. They're looking at NBC, CNBC, MSN. They're looking at all these different alternative stations to try to come up with some type of solution. But the mainstream media is lying to the people, telling them, oh, well, you don't have anything to worry about. But the scriptures say peace and safety and sudden destruction, man. All right, so this is the book of 2 Ezra 6:22. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses should be suddenly found empty. That's your stores, okay? And we're seeing that. That's the depiction on Dabu's video. You see empty shelves. Go to grocery stores and you will see that they're not stocking goods like they were. Yes, some places may have more than others, but overall, this global food chain, the disruption is going to hit all 50 states. It says, and they should suddenly be, it says, and a man should give a sound, a trumpet should give a sound, which when every man hear it, and they should suddenly be afraid. And at that time, friends shall fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountain shall stand still. In 3 hours they should not work. Okay? Whosoever remaineth from all these things that I have told thee should escape and see my salvation at the end of your world. And we're at that time. Okay? Storehouses are empty. They're getting ready to cut the power, the water, all the necessities and the essential goods to life are getting ready to be disrupted on all levels. And it can start this winter. Remember, Yahweh, I say, pray that your flight be not a winter. So, hey, that may be a telltale sign that shit is going to hit the fan. But anyway, with that, all praises and glory under this BT Yahweh, that shalom,